What's good in the hood, YouTube? This is Crazy Samurai 71 here, bringing another video. So, just recently, as of actually the other day, they finally revealed some information about Juuouger, and it does seem likely that it's a fact that Juuouger is going to be the next season. Like, it's almost guaranteed that that's it now. And it's interesting because it's supposed to have that animal-like theme, and one of the things that's been rumors is this whole entire aspect of this cube theme going on with the animal aspect, and it's really interesting. And they finally showed off the images of the team, which I'm sure I will have images up. I'm right now actually looking because I found this out through Twitter, oddly enough. And the thing is, in the past, typically they give out information late December. Now, typically when that happens, that's usually around the time that they actually are giving out like the trailers and stuff. So this wasn't trailers yet. This is more like just overall like images, which even so, typically they don't show images this early. They wait until the show has actually been revealed, or like maybe a week beforehand or close to it. Like usually they show it pretty close. So I'm just trying to find images for myself to look at. So as far as team goes, they've shown off each of their outfits, and I'm actually looking at my phone just so I can talk about it and see images, so that there's actually some logic to things here. So as far as things go, the Red Ranger is supposed to be like his character is supposed to be based off of like a hawk or a falcon, I guess. It's probably a falcon. So he's supposed to be like a red falcon, similar to like O-Red, which is interesting. And it does have that animal motif, and they each also have unique helmets, which is nice attention to detail. And obviously they're like the shirt patterns of their outfits have varying designs, so they all have animals on them, and like it's full on animals. It's not like a small little thing like they had with Go Ranger. I mean, like you see the face of the animal. It's not the whole body; it's just the face. But like, it's interesting. It has this black outlining that's meant to like refer to the look of the animal that they have. So like, red's the lion. No, not red's the lion. What am I saying? Red's the falcon. Yellow is the lion. Pink is supposed to be a cheetah, I guess. It's either a cheetah or a tiger. I think it's a tiger, actually. Yeah, no, it's a tiger. Yeah, so we have a lion for yellow, a tiger for pink, a shark for blue, and an elephant, oddly enough, for green. Interesting colors, I might add. Red, yellow, blue, green, and pink. So there are two females, and also like they did have that attention to detail. So like you can see that it's meant to represent like the hawk and stuff, like with the mask and all that, and also like the red top, and then like you can see the lion. You can see how it's like a lion mane. You can see how like there's a fin for the blue Juuouger member. You can see how there's a tiger, like there are like these little parts for the tiger, and the elephant, though, elephant's like it's more hidden, but it's definitely there. I actually like it a lot. It is interesting because this has been this is another season that actually has a female blue ranger and a male yellow ranger. And that's kind of interesting. I mean, last season in Ninja, we did have a male Yellow Ranger, but it's nice to see that we're getting a male, that we're getting a female Blue Ranger this time. Obviously, last time it was both male for Yellow and Blue, so it's nice to see that we're getting a female Blue Ranger, and we haven't had that since Hurricaneger, so it's pretty cool to see. That we're getting a female Blue Ranger, and it's very much so blue. Like it's not like dark blue, but it's like it's that lighter, like almost sky blue that Hurricane Blue had. So it's nice. Overall, the designs look pretty good. You can't really tell if Blue is gonna have a skirt from the image that they've shown of the characters, but just in general, it's a good look. Like a lot of them, like at first I was like. Most people love the designs of the characters, and I actually really do like the designs of the characters. Now let's talk about another aspect, which is the mech, Juuouger, which, you know, this time they're doing a king. They're not doing Tokyo. They're not doing Juo. They're not doing, you know, some other variation on that, you know, Juoujin or something like that, which makes no sense because that's for dinosaur stuff. You know, it's Juuouger, and that makes sense because, you know, they had Gao King. So yeah. So one of the biggest complaints, I'm actually, hold on one second. Before I go to Juuouger, let me go into the individual Zords and talk about them as a whole. So I'll probably have shown an image now of the Zords. The Falcon looks interesting. You know, a lot of these, you know, it's supposed to be like a cube-based design. Like, that's pretty much confirmed here. Interesting look for the Falcon. The tiger looks pretty nice. Elephant, it's interesting. Like, I actually like it, but like, if you look at some of the images I'll probably show you, it's the back part of it looks kind of off, but otherwise it looks pretty good. The lion looks kind of goofy, but you totally get that the cube part is supposed to be like the main, and since it's supposed to have this cube like theme, you know, it's not going to have all that extra detailing. It's going to be very much so cube like. So interesting. So it's definitely interesting. The shark is, I get it, but it's like only the face makes sense and the body looks pretty weird. I'm trying to see what is that. That's the wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you see then there's two others, and one of them I'm guessing is supposed to be like the one that's at the top is supposed to be, I guess like maybe a gorilla. And then there's one all the way to the side, which looks like maybe a giraffe, which if that's a giraffe, it's a really ugly giraffe. And the gorilla, it's okay, but it's just like, it's so unclear. Like, the imagery, I'm sure it's going to be good, but just from what I see from the individual words, I'm not particularly thrilled. Like, I was hoping for something a little bit more detailed, and I wasn't expecting this cube thing to look like it is, because it's kind of similar to TheKingNappy. At the same time, it's kind of similar, because like, people always think of like the blockiness of that season, and then at the same time, the most obvious relation is to Shinkenger with the origami Zord, since like, you know, they fold up into their kanji symbols. So it's sort of like that in this case, but you know, they're gonna change into their, you know, their numbers in a cube like form. So I'll probably have an image now showing that with like the 1, 2, and 3. They haven't actually released images for 4, 5, and 6 in their cube forms, but obviously, as you saw, they did show images otherwise. So you know, it's kind of cool. Another image that I'll probably be showing now is Juo. So Juo, as you can see here, is made up of 3 Zords. So clearly this is a season where it's going to start off with us knowing the original 3, and the others are going to follow later. They may follow like a few episodes in, most likely a few episodes in, like it might be the 5th episode or the 4th episode. You know, it's not going to happen instantly, but they're going to come. And what I've heard, understand this now, what I've heard is that apparently there's supposed to be elephant, and which is green, and who's the other one that's not in that group? Pink are supposed to combine with yeah, I believe it's pink, or it's pink or white. Pink. Let's just say pink, which is supposed to be, you know, a tiger. Is supposed to combine with the 6 Ranger, which apparently, don't hold me to this, but apparently the 6 Ranger is supposed to be a black Ranger. Not like black in skin color, but black as like the color of the outfit. And he's supposed to control a monkey Zord, and that's where I saw that gorilla. I mean, not a monkey Zord, a gorilla, and that's why I talked about that gorilla Zord, which, to be honest with you, looks very simple. And I'm also kind of curious, because if they're doing it early, then that makes me feel like they're gonna introduce the 6 Ranger pretty early. Now, for all we know, we might have more than 6 Rangers this season. I'm actually kind of thinking we might. I don't want to say anything up front yet because I could be completely false. But it does seem like we're getting introduced to our 6 Ranger early, probably. From what I can guess. I mean, we haven't seen any trailers yet, but just in general, knowing that those 3 are supposed to combine, and most likely, obviously, if those 3 are going to combine, we're probably going to get our core 5 before the 6 Ranger. It's most likely that we're going to have a combined mode where we get all 6 together, where we have the 2 complete mechs combined together to create, like, a bigger form. And it's nice to see that we're doing the 3 mechs to start with. We haven't had that since it would be, I just want to make sure, it would be the last season that did that was Go-onger, which was the 36th season, so 4 seasons back. So it's nice to see that they're doing that again. And those seasons tend to be pretty good, so I'm hopeful. It's the 40th season, so you have to be a little bit more optimistic, and you have to also hope that they really make the special, the anniversary, the 40th anniversary, really good, and do something interesting. They don't necessarily have to do what they did for the 35th season, but they have to do something that's cool, that references previous seasons in some way, whether it's through the actual show or some other way. They have to do something creative, and I really hope that they figure out something, maybe even cameos, maybe even something. I mean, seriously, they need to do something that's creative, that makes a lot of sense, that's logical. I mean, just in general, I'm really, as much as people complain about them, though they're not the greatest looking Zords, I'm pretty optimistic. Oddly enough, I really do think that things are probably a lot better looking than they may seem from these images. And just understand this now, the quality of the images that we've seen so far, though not perfect, I'm sure they're gonna be better looking Zords when we see them in the show, hopefully. And I'm hoping for this season to be pretty good. I'm hoping for it to not be something super innocent and intended to be young, like TheKingNappy, where they had these really had these characters that kind of were a little bit goofy and just a little bit off. And I've mentioned this in the past, that how for some reason the even number seasons haven't been, in my opinion, the greatest recently. And this is an even number season, oddly enough. Don't ask me why that is, but it just seems that way, that the even ones tend to not be as good recently, and yet the odd ones, is that right? What am I saying? I don't know. Go-onger was the 37th season. I said Go-onger was the 36th. I'm going to say 37th. Go-onger, great season. Ninja's been pretty decent. I mean, I actually was watching it for a good while, and then I kind of stopped. And I do plan on going back and rewatching it. But, the mechs are great. I still love my Shurikenjin. I'm sad to say that I haven't really gotten any other mechs other than Shurikenjin. But personally, that series, I definitely would have gotten the other mechs, but they're pretty expensive. Do I plan on getting Juuouger King? I actually probably will. I'm trying to get at least the main mech for the future Sentais. For each season. Hopefully I can get more than just Juo. Hopefully I can get the other side, elephant, tiger, and supposedly gorilla. So, that's going to be pretty cool. I'm very excited for this season, and if they're already showing these images this early, what that might say is that next week or the following week, most likely I'm feeling like next week, or it could be this week even. If they really want to push for it, they might do it this week, or in the next day or so even. Show off a clip or something like that, hyping up the next season. Usually they show it around this time, towards the later part of December. I'm a little surprised that they actually show the images so early. But at the same time, I know that this is the time when we start to really know what's the next season for Sentai. So I'm looking forward to seeing the clip. I'm looking forward to getting a better sense of what they look like as humans, because I actually really am curious, and I will definitely, when they finally release the clip, like do an analysis of the clip and of the Rangers as humans, because typically I'm pretty accurate. I'm pretty good at figuring out like how the characters are going to be in the show. Oddly enough, I remember very well during TheKingNappy, like when I looked at the team, I guessed how each character would be in the show, and I was more or less so on the dot. Like, I'm not even joking about that. Like, I knew what kind of character they would relate to, and like how I could, and just determine what made sense. And like I knew, and just in general, like a lot of the recent seasons, I've been able to figure out pretty easily how the character is gonna act, if they're gonna be like, you know, much more wild, if they're going to be more outspoken, if they're going to be, you know, nerdy, if they're going to be, you know, one of those ones that's all into like doing kawaii and all that stuff. You know, a lot. I'm usually pretty good at like determining what the characters will most likely be. So I'm definitely looking forward to doing that soon. I hope you guys are interested. I would love to know what your opinions of the Juuouger stuff so far is. And I'm looking forward to finally being able to purchase some of this stuff for sure. And one thing I might not have shown, but hold on one second, guys. I'm just gonna double check something here. Yeah, I didn't show it. There's an image that I'll probably also find for you guys that shows the Juuouger members with this thing that they hold out in one of the images, and supposedly it's like a cube, and people are thinking that maybe that's like their morphing device rather than having like a big morpher, which supposedly is another theory that they're gonna have like a big morpher, and maybe what they might do is something kind of like the Go-onger. Like, now that I think about it, if they're having like a morphing device and they have like that cube, what they might do is something similar to the Go-ongers with like the engines, and you know, put them inside of the morpher, and then, you know, have something where they just morph or whatever, like that. Maybe. I actually think that might be a possibility, where they do something like they put it inside like a morpher, and then suddenly just like they go out and they do that. Could be cool. Could be really cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know this was a little bit long, just because you know, it was a little like I really wanted to analyze this a lot, because, you know, it's really recent news, and I really like I'm a huge, I love Sentai, and just in general, I've watched pretty much every single season. Well, not every single season, but I've watched most seasons, not to the full extent, but I've watched at least a few like from the older seasons. You know, it's harder to find episodes, but a lot of those seasons I've definitely watched episodes from. Not necessarily like by any means full seasons of the early stuff, but from some of them definitely I actually have watched the full season. So you know, I'm a big fan of Sentai, and it's nice to see that what we're getting for the 40th season, and I'm looking forward to finally seeing the actual clip that, you know, talks about it and shows us what our human like characters are going to look like. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm really excited to finally get more information on Juuouger, and I hope that this season hooks me a lot more, because Ninja I was enjoying for a while and I was watching it regularly, but I haven't been as hooked as I had hoped. Like, I've been watching Kamen Rider Ghost recently. I love that show. That show is really good, and I hope that the matching Sentai works. Like, I hope it's really good, like Kamen Rider Ghost has been. Like, I've been watching that and I haven't lost interest yet. Not at all. I've actually loved Kamen Rider Ghost, and I really hope that Juuouger does the same thing for me. Ninja, I started off enjoying it, but then I kind of lost interest a little bit over time. So I hope things are good. Please comment below, tell me what you guys think. Do you guys like the mechs at all? Do you hate them? Are you hoping that they're going to be better when you finally see the clips? Do you like the suits? Are they good? Are they bad? Do you like the morphing concept of the cubes? Do you like the cube aspect at all? Do you think it's terrible? Do you like the helmets? Do you like overall design? And what are you hoping for, guys? I would love to know all that below. I will see you guys next time. So again, this has been Crazy Samurai 71, and I will see you guys again in my future videos. So bye guys.